Now, for more on the reaction to the tariffs, let's bring in CTV's Scott Hurst. And Scott, I imagine there is a lot of reaction to what is unfolding right now.
Roger, first and foremost, echoing what Colton had said, a huge sigh of relief for many across the country. But let's focus specifically on reaction from Canada's premiers. As we've been seeing for many days and weeks now, they have been part of the frontline fight with the federal government pushing back against these tariffs. And as Quebec Premier François Legault pointed out in his reaction to the pause in the tariffs, of course, this is good news, but said uncertainty, which there's still a lot of uncertainty as these tariffs might still come in within a month. Uncertainty is bad for the economy, going on to say we must rethink how our economy works to be less dependent on our neighbors to the south. As you might expect, a similar response from the most part from other premiers. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith saying diplomacy won the day, applauding the border plan to crack down on trafficking and other illegal activities, saying Alberta has been calling for a so-called border czar as announced in this agreement. She says she's preparing to return to the U.S. Capitol over the next few weeks, but also had a message for fellow premiers here to de-escalate the rhetoric over the next 30 days and de-escalate the threats. Ontario Premier Doug Ford agreeing cooler heads prevailed, allowing more time for negotiation, but following that up with an ultimatum that Canada won't be deterred from retaliation if U.S. President Donald Trump proceeds with tariffs a month from now. So obviously the most pressing threat, Roger, has been paused, but still the potential for serious economic pain not off the table just yet.
Absolutely. And of course, average Canadians, what are they saying? There's this big push to shop Canadian. Are we still trying to do that? How are they feeling?
That's not going away anytime soon. Of course, this is a trading relationship that's also not going away anytime soon. $3.6 billion in goods and services cross the border every day. More than 2 million Canadian jobs are tied to U.S. exports, and decades of trade agreements, as we've been covering for many weeks now, have really intertwined our two economies. But this growing push to buy Canadian, a growing push to keep our dollars north of the border as much as possible, it's not going away anytime soon. Proof that harm has been done, and Canadians are, of course, feeling it. In spite of this pause, the push to buy Canadian appears to be ramping up as well. Canadians are not just angry, they appear to be engaged. And according to a new poll from Research Co. based out of Vancouver, more than 4 in 5 Canadians have been following the news relatively closely or moderately closely. And according to this poll, more than 3 in 5 Canadians, 63%, say they'll avoid purchasing goods that originated from the U.S. if a non-American alternative is available. So it appears this sentiment is not going away, this push to buy Canadian, even though this threat of tariffs has been paused, at least for now, Roger.
All right, hopefully it gets resolved. CTV Scott Hurst, thank you for that.
Thanks.